Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool arcade game video for you today. We have got something really special in here in the shop that we're going to be working on and bringing back to life. This is a rare, or fairly rare, I shouldn't say rare, this is a hard to find Bally Midway Pac-Land arcade game in the dedicated cabinet. Super cool cabinet. Super cool game. I've always been a fan. And then it's also from Eldorado Games. Isn't that pretty cool? These guys have repaired a ton of games over the years, but I guess this was one that they actually put out or distributed back in the day. So we've got a nice marquee on it that's in great shape. We've got all the brackets and stuff that we need. The monitor's missing, we can handle that. The bezel's missing, we can handle that. We've got new control panel artwork. We've got the cool triangle, the cool diamond shaped buttons. We've got, I think, new artwork for that. The cabinet's got a little wear on it. It needs to be sanded down and repainted, and then it needs a kick plate reinstalled down there. They had a lock bar on it that made a huge mess over here. We'll have to do something about that. This side, the side art is still in great shape, but we've got new side art, so we're going to replace it. Pac-Land. You don't see these too often in the original cabinet. Now, we had one of these years ago that was kitted into a tapper. And if you know anything about us, we love all of the weird kits that they put out. And there was actually a actual kit from Bally to kit it into one of their tapper cabinets. Let me walk around to the back. Let's look inside of it. So we have in the bottom, it looks like it runs off of a switching power supply down there. I don't know how well you can see that. It's kind of dark in here. There's a transformer down there. The game board is mounted down there. And of course the monitor's missing. Eldorado Games. So that's how it looks when we start, but you know what's more important is it's a very solid cabinet. It's got the game board. It's got the marquee, it's got the control panel, it's got all the brackets and everything, so you know it's in good starting condition, so we'll be able to get it looking pretty nice. So the first thing we're going to do is well, I don't know, Joe's messing with it, so I don't know if he's going to get it running first or if he's going to do the painting and all that first, but whatever he does, we'll come back and that'll be the next part of this video. Okay, so we have taken the side art off. We did some Bondo work to get it looking a little better. We're going to hit it. We're going to see what we can do. We've got some nice bright yellow there. We think that's the same yellow that we did a baby Pac-Man with. So we think it'll brighten it up a little bit, make it look a little better. We'll see what happens after we put it on. Huh? You like? Huh? There's different. The best way to paint these is to spray them with oil-based paint. We're rolling on water-based paint, which we get a pretty good finish out of, but it's not perfect, but it looks very nice. Here in person, you would be like, wow, that looks great. It looks so much better than it did originally. The other thing with yellow or red paint, just the way they're mixed, the pigment's real thin on them. You have to put a ton of coats, so this is 6 coats. 6 coats, people, just to get it yellow, and it was already yellow. Here's what's going on with it electronically. When we got it, the monitor was missing. But we had a nice burn-free Wells Garner monitor that we popped in it that has a really good picture. We've rebuilt it, put new capacitors and stuff on it. But we had already done that. It was just sitting around waiting for this game. We knew we had this game and we needed a nice 19-inch monitor for it, so popped it right in. We had to make a new harness because it was missing. This is the video connection, and then it runs down and it plugs into the board right here. This little short piece was in the bottom of the cabinet from where they cut it to cut the monitor out. So we extended the wires, got it hooked back up. We had to make a new connection for the power connector. That was fun. We've put a new power supply in it that we still haven't screwed down, but that's coming. So we swapped the power supply. And after we did that, the game came up, but the graphics were all glitched. So to repair the graphic glitches, basically it wouldn't do anything. It would come up and there was just a bunch of colored blocks and stuff on the screen. So we took all of the chips off. I think I counted and there were 42 chips and sockets that we took off of the game board. So we took all the chips out of the sockets, cleaned them, and put them back. Now if you get one of these, this chip right here is a custom chip that has 10 legs, so 10, T-I-N, legs, so that it gets all, they get all black and discolored, and because of that, tarnished, that's the word, tarnished. They get all tarnished, and because of that, it won't work, of course, because the board can't electrically connect to it. So we cleaned that all up. If you get one of these, clean that very carefully, because if you break a leg on that, you're in big trouble. I don't even know if it was on any other game but Pac-Land. And then up here in the corner, this area here does the sprites. So after we got it all the chips cleaned and put it all back together, the board came up, it played just fine, but the characters had pieces of the character missing. And it was all of the sprites, so everything that moves, so the ghosts, Pac-Man himself, some of the text. This was all done by this area of the board. Well, after we looked, if you pressed on this one RAM chip here, it would make the sprites look fine, and then not look fine, look fine, not look fine. So we took the socket off, put a new socket in, put the same exact RAM chip back in to where it was making better contact with the new socket, and that fixed the board. So there wasn't too much to show on that. But that's the electronics. So power comes in, goes to the power supply, runs over to the board creates a signal that it sends up to the monitor. Simple as that. The buttons on the game are real simple. I think there's 5 or 6 buttons on the control panel total. So not much going on there. We just need to change the artwork. So we'll pull the art off of the control panel and then put new art on it. Okay folks, so we are getting a little further. We painted the coin door, put it back. We got the blue T molding on it. We got the bezel back on it, the plastic bezel around the monitor. That's actually pretty rare. That's the same one as on Timber and Tapper. They're worth a little bit of money. Haven't messed with the marquee yet, but the paint's looking pretty good. There's a little bit of damage to the front of the cabinet down there, but it originally had a kick plate that goes over it, and we're going to put one of those back on to make it look a lot better. So now we've taken off the control panel, the front thing, and we're going to replace the overlay on it. So we're going to peel off the old one with a heat gun, and then when we get it off, we'll put the new piece of artwork on it, and then we'll bolt it back on the cabinet. We have removed the overlay, and we bought a replacement overlay. This is the front thing. If I didn't just ruin it by sticking it to it's still got the paper on it. This is the front part of the cabinet. So basically, we need to eyeball this baby. The thing is though, the original one wrapped all the way around and this one doesn't. We got this from this old game. Joe, does the control panel overlay the top a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
About an inch.
And the bottom, All right. Well, the control panel overlay does go over the top a little bit. So my more important thing is I need to get the bottom good, but Unfortunately, it doesn't go all the way around like the original one did, but that'll be all right. So I think what I'll do is I'll leave like a little bit of a line at the top, because the control panel will cover that, and then that'll make sure that I'm far enough down that it goes over the bottom. Here we go. We're peeling the paper. Paper is being peeled. Boom, boom, boom. The paper is off, people. Wish me luck. Cross your fingers. Whoa. Looking pretty good. We're a little off the line there on the edge, but that'll be all right. It's because this side it's even on this side. It's just printed a little bit too short this way, and then they didn't print the bottom wrap. Let's see. So it mounts on the cabinet like that, so you won't see it. You know, and the control panel overlay goes over it. You won't see it, but it would have been nicer if it went all the way around. I might have to look at our piece that we peeled off. I didn't take it off, he took it off. I'm gonna have to look at our piece that we peeled off and see if it was just black or what the deal was. But yeah. But sometimes whenever we do these, we hit them with a heat gun and to get them just right, but since this one's flat, you don't really even need the heat gun. I guess we might hit it just a little bit. Maybe that'll help some of the glue do its thing. If you're going to like bend over an edge though, that's how you do that. You kind of crease it with your hand, and then you hit it with a heat gun until you start seeing it move a little bit. Basically, it's getting a, hear my high speed talking to us. Basically, it's not melting it, but it's heating up the glue and making it more pliable and everything. And then once you get it where it's a little bit more pliable, you bend it over the edge. Your main thing is you don't want any bubbles in it, and we don't have any. All right, so we'll bolt it on the cabinet. So here's the trash. So like the bottom was black that wrapped under, so you could just paint that black. And then the top wrapped over too, and it was blue, sky blue. And then the part that was the front, you can see where the control panel overlay wraps around. That's about how it was. So that all is about, most of all the artwork's really there. It's just the blue should extend up a little bit on the top, and then maybe a black border on the bottom. But hey, we're gonna make it work. Okay, we're placing it back on. If Joe doesn't drop it in that paint down there. Don't drop it in the paint down there, Joe. That didn't work. There we go. Now we're getting there. Starting to look better. And you can't see that edge I was talking about. Looks good. Very nice. Okay, so here is our control panel. Depending on how you want to do it, you can paint this first and all that, but we usually don't feel that's necessary. Everything seems pretty smooth. We're going to test fit it. Okay, it seems like this one is a little better. But you kind of have to get it where... Was the top rolled over? The stuff went all the way around the top?
Yeah.
But it went all the way around the bottom too? Alright, I need a piece of it that had the artwork around one of the buttons. Okay, so here is our jump, and you can see that that's where the thing was. So it's about like that. So we need to be about like so. Which is flush with the bottom. So it's not going to overlap on the bottom. Okay. Okie dokie. This might be a tough one. Packland instructions, so that should be on the curved part? That doesn't seem right. Let's see. Let's see what we got. It was not on the curved part. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think it was. That line there, I believe, would have been where the control panel, about the paper's still on it. So that's what I'm doing. That would have been like that. So where the instructions are should be on the flat spot, which would leave us it was right up to it. Something like that, which gives us more of a wrap on the bottom, but it puts us pretty close to the edge there. Yeah, it's a hole too high. I'm not thrilled about the quality of the overlay, but what can you do? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn off the lights, which is going, there's a light in this showcase. It's going to shine up through the holes in the bottom where the buttons are be, and we're going to line it up with the buttons, get everything where it looks pretty good, and then bam, do it. This is what separates the men from the boys. We might mess up our overlay. Hopefully not. I kind of just got to eyeball it.
Okay, buddy, pull over.
Pull over. That's our high-speed pinball. And our Virtua Fighter being very noisy. All right. Let's see if we can see through it enough. I can barely see him, but not enough. Let's see if we can put a light under it. That's a little better. It's tricky, folks. It's tricky. Whew. Hard to tell if we're straight, but I think I'm a little low like that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we might be on there. Well, I think it just made our decision for us, folks. Might be a little low, but I think it'll be all right. Oh, I didn't even think about the start buttons either. Alright, so our main thing is we kind of got to get a crease down in there. The edge of this weird button that goes on it might do a good job of getting us a crease. All right. I think we're pretty straight. We might be a little bit crooked, but man, it feels pretty straight. So if it was perfect, I think maybe if all the artwork was shifted up just a little bit, would have been perfect, because this has to go there like that, and it's not perfectly centered. It's probably going to go over this cloud just a little bit. Let's try that. Let's see if that cloud was covered up by this a little bit. That might be a good way to tell how good we are.
Let's see what we got.
Is this the right one? Nope, that's not it. Now, buddy, we're close. So I think the artwork originally was maybe 1/8 of an inch higher up. I'm calling that close enough. And it kind of looks like that. So before, you can see the crease there where it was creased up. See how the cloud, how close it is to it? 1/8 of an inch, or maybe a little bit more, 3/16 maybe. Bam! Right on the money. I don't know, folks. Looking pretty good. And then here's our jump one. So that was right there. Man, we might be right on the damn money. Okay, so let's see what we can do about the front edge. Kind of hard to get to. Pull over. All right, so we're going to kind of go ahead and pre-form it around the curve. So it's kind of trained to, got a little bit of a, there was a little piece of trash there. So it's kind of trained already to do it, and then we're going to give it a little heat. Just heat it up just a little bit, and then we're going to carefully roll it all over. Sometimes when you get a weird one like this, it's hard to hold it up. How y'all doing today?
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. All right, so we'll do the top here in a minute. The high speed's driving us crazy. All right, folks, we're back. We had to load up some games. Some people came by and bought some games. That was good. Okay, so all we've got left really is this top turn. So the way we do it, we're going to basically do the same thing. We're going to crease it to get it where it's kind of trained to go that way anyway. Okay, and now we're going to hit it with some heat and roll it around. Underneath on the thing, I've got the backing off of this so I can have something clean to set it down on whenever I tip it up. If you put too much heat though, you'll see it start wrinkling up. Like it just started wrinkling a little bit. But it makes it flexible enough that it'll make that curve all the way around. And I'm just pushing it away from the edge to get all the air bubbles out. Nice and flat. Another thing I do is I try not to, once I've heated it once, I try not to heat it again because it seems like it weakens the adhesive a little bit, at least to me. So, that is that. Now, on the front, you've got that little bit where it was a little bit longer than the front. But that's so minor, if I try to wrap that around, it's going to pop back loose. So we're just going to take a razor blade, and just like we trim the sides, we're going to trim that bottom so that it comes down and just stops. If the thing was wide, if the thing was had been printed longer, where it would wrap all the way around, that would be better. Because that way when you clamp it down, it holds everything in place. How y'all doing today? Not much. But I think it all turned out pretty good. So now we'll trim it up a little bit and we'll put the buttons back in. So the actual bezel was missing, but the glass we still have. The monitor was missing, all this was missing. We had this, we put it back, we put the monitor in. The glass was there, but it was like a clear piece. And originally it had a little black, just a simple black trim around it. So we're painting that on the piece of glass. So here it comes right now. Let's see what we got. Alright, so we've taped off what we think is the right hole that we want in the middle and spray painted it. So we'll see how it looks. So here's where we are so far. We got it up and running. You can see the monitor looks great. Bezel turned out pretty good. There he is with his magic shoes. How's it going, man? Thank you, buddy. It's our male guy. He rocks. Okay, and the control panel, I think turned out about perfect, really. I think the buttons are lined up pretty good. Looking good. So we got to put the little kick panel, the kick plate at the bottom, because it's worn down there. It looks like crap. And then we got to put the side art stickers on it. And that's about it. It'll be done. Here's our artwork. Very colorful. So I can't see on it where the old artwork was, so I might look at a picture, but I would imagine that it needs to be kind of centered. Whoop. Bum, 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 bum. Better get the tripod. All right. So it needs to be basically, I'm going to try to get that, and that all about the same size. I'm going to look at a picture on of the flyer or something to make sure that's right. And then we're going to carefully stick it on there. Sometimes we do it wet where we spray water on it, but this paint's latex paint and it's so bright and it's a nice yellow. I don't want to spray water on it because it'll start screwing it up. So we're going to just stick the sticker on there dry. All right. Yeah, it was like I thought. It's you basically want it to be centered and all of that, like you would think. So something like that. So here we go. Peeling off the backing. Who knows how this is going to turn out? But we will soon see. Hopefully it's that cool stuff where like the bubbles come out on its own. that straight. Then we'll start at the top. I've got grease all over my hands like normal. I'm working on my car, so I got to make sure not to touch the yellow. There's some wrinkles I can feel, but I think it's in the masking on the top, or that's what we're going to hope for at least. Maybe the way it was stored or the way it was shipped. I think we got it, and it was shipped rolled up. Alright, so I'll put the rest of it on and then I'll show you how it ends up. Okay, so we got it all on there. We're going to try to take the masking off, which is a little tricky to get started usually. But the way I always do it is I just peel it back flat like this. Rip it in half, that's a little easier to do. Looking pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty nice. All right, let's get a away shot. Looks good. I like it. It's very, very nice. So the actual artwork, you can see that the way it was printed, it's kind of a little bit faded, but that might be how it was originally. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that is, you know, where the light area is behind the little fake Tinkerbell. But it went on nice and straight. Let's see if we can get any light on it. No, we'll do it on the other side. But it's nice and flat, looks good. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's nice. All right, we put the little kick plate on it. Boy, those are cool. Isn't that just a nice little piece of trim? Makes them look real sharp. Put the other side art on it. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I like it. Turned out pretty nice. That's one of the nicest ones we've done in a while. I see one thing on it that doesn't look pretty much new. But I won't point that out. I'll let y'all figure it out. Here's the marquee. It was still in good shape. Plexiglass. Got the light working, of course. And I didn't even get motor oil all over it. Super cool. I guess I should prove it works. Boop. Might have to adjust a lock. This one was cool because you could pick what board you want to start on. Oh, how the tables have turned. Oh no, they did me in. So there you go, folks. We're gonna do another whole video of playing it and showing off how it was designed and all of that, but we figured you'd like this one of us actually fixing it up. So leave your comments below. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it all for you, and we will see you on the next video. By the way, if you want to see all the games that we have for sale, this one will probably sell pretty quick, I would think, but go to lionsarcade.com. This one may already be gone, though. Oh, she got him. She came right for him. Very cool. All right, so leave your comments below. Give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it, and we will see you on the next video.